Welcome back to Real Estate. My name is Timothy Tay. In this video, we're going to take a look at the commercial en bloc market. The segment has been particularly busy this year, and several commercial sites have launched their collective sale tenders over the past few months. The en bloc momentum visibly picked up after Maxwell House was sold for $276.8 million in May this year. The site was sold to a joint venture consisting of Singhai Group, Chipping Seng Corp and Chuan Investments. Since then, several commercial sites have launched their collective sale tenders, including Verdant House, International Plaza and Peace Centre. I want to find out why owners feel confident to launch their collective sale attempts this year. I spoke to Karamjit Singh, CEO of Delicia, to find out more.
Increase in commercial en blocs of late, three key reasons for that. Number one is this big push by URA to revitalize CBD here. So through that process, all commercial developments have been given incentives to have them redeveloped, as long as a big portion of that is residential or hospitality. That gives rise to arbitrage that creates an en bloc potential. The second is just general shortage of land for residential developers. They need to stock up, and some of these mixed-use developments satisfy that demand. Thirdly is this renewed spotlight on Singapore's stability, attractiveness as an investment hub. With that, foreigners have set up shop here, family offices, investment houses, and that's bound to rub off into the commercial sectors, and true enough, asset values have gone up. The main key challenge is devising an equitable formula in distributing the proceeds amongst the owners. The problem tends to be more pronounced where you have a mixed use with retail component, and the retail component tends to be a bit more sensitive to the nature of the business that they are in, and many of the retails have been there in the development, enjoying goodwill and prolonged success, and hence the motivation might be different from the rest of the development. Farrer Park today looks very different from 5 or 10 years ago, and that's thanks to quite a number of new developments that have sprung up. And new developments include hospitality, retail, residential, and even medical facilities. So Verdant House current offering is a great opportunity for an investor or developer to pursue and participate in this rejuvenation that's already taking place, and add to the vibrancy embedded by all these multiple facets of medical and hospitality, as well as retail. For conservation to be pursued as an agenda, the town planners would need to look beyond urban planning considerations, but also the commercial realism that exists that must work for both the sellers and property developers, and the policies will need to tweak wearing that commercial lens.
Karamjit touched on the difficult process before a development can launch its en bloc tender. His firm managed to help the owners of Verdant House launch their collective sale bid in August this year. Ep6 reported also in August that the owners of Lim Towers have launched their collective sale committee and is in the process of shortlisting a marketing agent. This would be their first collective sale attempt. I caught up with Rajesh, the CSE chairman of Lim Towers, to find out how things are proceeding.
Hi, my name is Rajesh. I'm a chairman of Collective Sales Committee of Lim Towers. Over the period of time, the requirement changed. Many websites have started selling online these electronics products which they have been selling here, and wholesale market has moved out from here. Due to the change in business dynamics, footfall has fallen down, and owner has collectively came together to initiate the en bloc process. During the en bloc process, I met many owners. Most of them are very old people. Some of them owns this unit for quite long time. They are using for their own business, and some of them have rented out. If they get the sales proceed, they can use this proceeds for their retirement, to support their family, or to reinvest. Collective Sales Committee is in the process of appointing marketing agent. Once the marketing agents are appointed, they will start working on valuation and apportionment for each and every unit. Once this process is done, it might take about 4 to 6 months. We will be ready with approving such amount in the EGM. We are hoping that by March 2023, we will be able to obtain 80% consent, and thereafter we will launch the tender for sale. End of the day, we will lose all landmark. Recently, we lost in this area Thews Market, the colorful Rochor HDB buildings. Lim Tower landmark cannot be said as will be lost because this will create a ways for the new landmark. The new building will come with the new amenities, new facilities. This new building after 40 years will make ways for another landmark. So this losing and creating landmarks will keep going.
If the owners of Lim Towers are able to successfully launch their freehold development for collective sale, it would be one of the most watched commercial deals of the year. And it would encourage owners of other older commercial developments to start their en bloc process. Even the owners of Orchard Towers are reported to be in the early stages of their collective sale attempt. The CSC there is working with their consultants to work out the method of apportionment. I want to find out why this stage of the collective sale process can be so divisive, and if this en bloc renewal could continue into 2022. I sat down with Jeremy Lake, Managing Director of Investment Sales and Capital Markets at Saville Singapore, to find out more.
My name is Jeremy Lake. I'm the Managing Director of Investment Sales and Capital Markets at Savills here in Singapore. I've been involved in the real estate industry for about 30 years. The overarching reason is because developers are interested to buy sites, buy land, replenish their land bank. So that's key. More specifically, why has it impacted the commercial market? A few reasons really. One might be that a number of commercial strata title projects have short unexpired leases left, such as International Plaza or Maxwell House, where the unexpired lease might be 40, 50 years left. So for these owners, they feel that the only way to maximize the value of their property is to pursue a collective sale rather than sell individually. Another factor is COVID. COVID has had a very serious and negative impact on retail strata title properties. In many cases, vacancy rates have gone up, rental rates have gone down, and it's quite challenging being an owner of retail strata title space. So when an opportunity for an en bloc sale comes along, many owners are very receptive to it. Final factor may be the age. In many cases, these commercial strata title projects are more than 30 years old, and they're therefore very ripe for a collective sale. So the number of commercial en bloc projects in the pipeline is now unprecedented. I haven't seen this number before. One of the reasons is probably that in some cases owners have had failed attempts, so this time around they don't want to miss the boat. They also realise that typically collective sale activity has a short window, and so owners do seem much more receptive these days, and we expect this trend to continue. With commercial projects, one of the challenges we face is the method of apportionment. Typically we can't rely on strata area and share value. We would have to look to a valuation-based mechanism. This requires a valuer to undertake a valuation of all the units. The data points that the valuer often looks for are imperfect. There may not be perfect evidence within the building itself, so the valuer would have to look at other buildings and make adjustments. The process does work quite well, but inevitably some owners are unhappy with the valuation, and that can create unhappiness, and in fact in some cases owners refuse to accept the valuation, and this can make the method of apportionment very difficult. The pace of site sales is likely to increase substantially over the coming 3 to 6 months. As long as developers remain hungry for sites, we can foresee the market activity increasing. What will derail that is when developers' appetite for land diminishes, and or if owners overshoot and their pricing expectations are beyond what developers are willing to pay.
In this episode, we've heard that a top-down push to revitalise parts of the CBD, a residential supply crunch and ample liquidity has helped fuel the en bloc market. But we've also heard firsthand that the process is not easy, but owners are still keen to explore their exit options and realise the value of their property. With major deals such as International Plaza and Peace Centre still up for grabs, the en bloc momentum is likely to continue for the next few quarters. Keep up to date with the latest property news at Ep6 Singapore, and thank you for watching Real Estate. Real opinions, real statements.